Hey, what to do, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're just having a great day. So I'm super excited for today's video, not only because we get to work on the Fummins, and I think today's the day where we actually start making forward progress on this thing instead of just being in a constant state of dismantling. First we took the cab off, then we got the chassis over here, transfer case came off, transmission came off, engine is now almost completely disassembled. You really can't go any farther than this other than taking out all of the internals. We don't need to do that on this one. We're still not 100% sure if we're using this block or that block. Brad is on his way over, so we'll have that figured out here very shortly. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen with the short block today, but odds are we're gonna need to access it at some point. So we're gonna go ahead and get the shop opened up.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand.
This cam looks a lot better.
Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
Alright, well there you have it. We have two beautifully bent pieces of from the get-go. I should have used this right. Old Smoke.
Try to catch me out of that.
Hopefully we end up getting a nice little breeze through here today. Yesterday it was pretty hot, but enough with that. Let's go ahead and jump into the project. For those of you guys who watched the last video, you guys know that the head came off. Pretty much everything is off of the engine that we need to take off, with the exception of the timing cover. I have not removed this yet. I may leave it on there for the time being, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get the head situated probably over here somewhere. I do need to set some cardboard down because on the bottom side of this head, if you guys look, the injectors, they poke out just a little bit. And those are very pricey little pieces of metal. So I think I found a solution as far as setting the head down on the concrete. We have some of these rubber floor mats that are a little bit on the squishy side, and I think they'll do a great job of cradling that, and we're not gonna have to worry about anything. So that's gonna be where it sits for now. Let me go ahead and get this scoot back a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and set this camera down. All right, so here's the moment of truth. This is gonna be what makes the big decision right now. Brad just showed up.
How's it going?
He's inspecting this block. I'm gonna let him make this call and not me.
She's definitely got some scoring. Can we bar it over and see number 6? Usually that's the...
Barring's not very easy right now.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot to do it with. See, I think Big Kahuna's in the back of the truck right now. I'll be right back. I need a shorter bar. I'll be right back. This might work.
It's real shiny.
The other one's pretty shiny too, though.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't bad. I think it looks pretty good for 320K.
You want to go look at the other one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see that last
It's gonna take a minute.
one. Oh yeah.
We got the correct tool for the job.
Yeah. It really helps when you're trying to get TCC.
Yes.
It's hard to say.
It's like pros and cons. They both have them.
The only difference I noticed was pretty much inside the gear case. This is a lot cleaner, but that's really it. Outside, it looks like it's leaked just as much. I mean, these things are almost 30 years old.
Yep.
We just roll the dice.
I got some quarters. Start flipping quarters. Give us a minute. We'll be back shortly. All right, so I think we've made a decision. We're gonna stick with the one that was in there, but we still got to take some more stuff off of it to just double check a couple things. So next we're gonna take out the cam, and to do that we're gonna stand this thing upright, and then you got 2 bolts. Let me this rotated. They're right there, but this thing can come out pretty easy. And so yeah, we got to get this thing uprighted, and I'm gonna set the camera down because there's a good chance that something goes wrong right now. now. And if it does go wrong, at least we can have it on camera.
You're down just ahead. Okay. Guess we don't have to tell all my stuff with this, but give it a shot. Keep going. Looking good. Alright, we're gonna walk in a little.
Where's Ella's friend?
Huh?
Where's Ella's friend? Where's she?
My oldest daughter?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Keep coming. Down some.
But which way did she go?
I don't know. I haven't seen her since she left here with you. So we got it lined up again. When this 0 is in between those two zeros, that means top dead center, right? Should, technically.
Number 1, yeah.
Yep. So now we can take these 2 bolts off, which is the retainer clip.
Zippity zap, don't look good.
Sound like a true Cummins guy.
Zippity zap.
I mean, you gotta answer with it, like, use somebody else's phone to take a good picture, you know?
Oh, I'll do that. My buddy James's house.
All right, we're gonna keep moving forward. The cam is free, we think.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and set it down. So hopefully we don't mess anything up. So if I had a $10,000 camera, you guys would probably be able to pick this up pretty well, but I don't. So I'm gonna try and show you guys the best we can. The camshaft is like in okay shape. We do got a couple spots. I think it was this one right here. You guys can see it's starting to pit a little bit right there. A little bit of deformity. Not the best thing in the world to see. Well, it'd be cool right now if we had access to the gantry crane, but we don't. So we're feeling strong today. We're gonna go ahead and try and upright this thing by hand. And might go good, might not. You know, you're on the tractor.
Let's feel it out. We do have a pivot point.
Okay.
Which is nice.
That was not good. Easy.
Yeah, not too bad. See? Yeah, zippity zap.
I'm gonna make a shirt that says that, zippity zap.
Dude, Jeff's man, I hope you meet this guy one day. I mean, he's got a Fummins too. He's the one that turned me on to this one, doing this one. Yeah, man, best stroke ever. As he's like trying to get it in gear. ZF6.
Yeah. That really caught me off guard when I drove this thing the little bit that I did.
Yeah.
Like to get it in here.
What's that?
It's like, man, this thing is, the tolerances are like.
Oh, it's tight. It is a short shifter.
So we're having trouble getting the camshaft out of this one. It's
Oh, you know what?
not, oh.
Just hit me.
Yeah, what's that?
What are we doing?
Oh, come on.
We're so used to these electronic fuel pumps. Sometimes
Yeah,
we
amateur.
forget. You might want to hold that.
This is amateur hour over here today. Oh, jeez.
We're both got with our pants down here.
Yep.
I wonder if the industrial cams are different than
See, that's what I was about to say. Do you think they have the same profile?
I have to bust out of my chronometer.
That's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Thoughts? Impressions?
This cam looks a lot better, that's for sure. It's very clean inside, like it's never had bad oil in it. But how's that cam gear look?
You want to put it next to the other one?
I just thought I might have saw some extra wear on there, but it looks pretty good. Guess the only last thought would be to pull the pan off the other one, but I mean, this one looks healthy, and I know that has 300,000+ on it. So the chances of this being that high as well, I mean, I don't know.
It's hard.
It is hard. This came out of a Ford.
All right, so quick recap. We have 100% decided to go with the short block that was brought in. There's just too much that's just a tiny bit better. I mean, just slight fractions of being better than the one that we took out of the Ford. So without going too far into detail, Basically, the camshaft was in better shape. The tappets are in better shape. Much smoother. Or some other things that we discussed on this one.
Cleaner inside overall. The tappets are good. Bearings look good. Cylinders are the same.
Yeah. Inside this gear cover right here was really clean. Doesn't ever look like it got roasted. We are going to have to change this. It's a little bit different style on that truck. But overall, we think it's going to be better. But now we're going to start to get into the fun part of this build where we actually get to look at some cool stuff. The turbos came in. Let's check them out.
I'm not a professional.
And we got a knife. We got scissors over here.
We're good. It's just quality tape. Hard to tell. Uh-oh.
Dust. It's like poof. Ooh, look at that packaging.
Drains. Okay.
I assume this is probably going to be the smaller turbo, the smaller box. Well, maybe not. Oh, well, yeah. Or maybe stand corrected.
Yeah, that's right. I took the housing off this one.
All right, here goes turbo number 2. Fondle with care. Did you see that?
Oh, wow.
I like this guy already.
I like subtle workplace humor.
Oh, that's good.
It's like serious, too.
I know.
It's over from my old one. It's just the housing. Charge housing. Excuse me.
So what's all new about this one?
The whole thing. It's just smaller in general.
Okay.
It's wastegated now. The other one was kind of pinned.
Yeah.
But it's not like it was over boosting.
Okay, so this one might bark a little bit.
Yeah.
That'll sound cool.
Oh, yeah. 4.4 inch exhaust housing. Another billet wheel. This is a 6265. The other one was a 6271. We're hoping it just spools a lot quicker because it's a heavy truck.
I'll tell you right now, I think it's going to.
Yeah, the other one was stiff.
Dude, that one was brutal. So we're not going to call him today, but huge shout out to, what was his name? Greg?
Greg Turner.
Greg Turner, which would make sense. GT Performance Turbochargers. He's the one that rebuilt these things and changed up a couple things, and looks like he did a pretty good job. So we are super excited to get these things actually on the truck, but we got a long ways to go before that actually happens. And then this is a pretty big piece of the puzzle too. It was second gear that was slipping on this, or popping?
Yep, second gear synchro was worn.
Okay.
After a fresh rebuild, so guy warranted it, stand up dude.
Nice.
Yep.
We're gonna unload this by hand?
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
Where do you want to set it? Let's come up with a game plan
On
first.
the earth.
You want to stick all that paper on the ground right there? Or you just put it right there?
Okay. Or do
Okay.
you happen to have a little one of them wooden dollies?
A wooden doll.
Furniture being
Now you're really reaching. Yeah, I might. Let me go look. All right, time to heave ho again. We're gonna get this thing unloaded. All right, well, I think that's as far as we're getting today. Actually got to do some work stuff. Brad's got to get going, and hopefully tomorrow we make some more good progress. See you later, man. So this is one thing that I have not seen yet. He's got a pretty rad Durabird. Let's send to this one. LOY. I like it.
Basic family hauling with pull trailer.
Sounds good. Right on. I'll catch you later. But we do need to go on a little side quest, and that's what today's video is going to be on. I'm going to need 2 separate engine stands to actually work on these things. And as Brad was over here yesterday, he was telling me that I should check out Stumpy's Fab Works, and he builds some pretty rad engine stands that are stationary. Well, you can't add like wheel kits to them, but I'm gonna go ahead and try and build my own out of my scrap pile over there. All right, so I've got this scrap pile over here that eventually I will build enough stuff that all of this will disappear. It used to be much larger, but for today, all we're gonna need is that piece of 2-inch square tubing that's wedged underneath that stack of wood. So we'll get that put underneath the hay barn, and then I need that piece of 2-inch square tubing as well. So let me run over and grab the $2.99 real quick. been a minute or two since I've gotten to use one of these tables. Really not gonna need a whole lot to build these things. Just a grinder, welder, maybe a drill, chop saw. Should be pretty straightforward, pretty quick. Normally I would drag the 255 over here, but I don't feel like making its way through all of that mess, so we're gonna go ahead and use the little 211. You guys, I love this design that Stumpy came up with. It's just super basic, super straightforward, and I don't think it's gonna take any time at all to make. It's literally gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 cuts per side, and maybe even less than that because I might change this up a little bit on how he did that. So overall, this is gonna be super quick and easy, but I think what I'm gonna do, instead of actually doing like a full cut right there, I'm just gonna do like a triangle wedge shape and bend it over. Maybe not, I'm not 100% sure yet on that one, but regardless, we are gonna have to get rid of these pieces right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut those off. We'll start measuring a couple things out, and then we'll go ahead and get to work. Got a couple other pieces to cut off over here. So normally it wouldn't take 30 minutes just to cut 4 pieces of metal, but we had a bunch of stuff that we had to remove, like this guy, that guy. If you guys can see all these little pieces right here. Then we had to grind it smooth. So it took a little bit of prep work to turn it into actual usable metal. But from here, we're gonna go ahead and clean up the surfaces a little bit. These things right here are just lifesavers for cleaning off rust. I love these things. These 2 pieces right here are gonna get some funky cuts in them because these are gonna get a little bit of a bend on it so that we can put the mounting plate that actually connects to the block onto these pieces right here. So these are gonna get welded, I don't know, somewhere in the middle. But so I don't have like exact measurements from that guy. I'm just kind of going off of what his picture looks like. So these pieces are 32 inches long. And then these 2 pieces right here are just a little bit under 2 feet. I wanted to go 2 feet, but when I cut off that last piece right there, it left me at like 47 7/8. So we're super close. I think it's still gonna be okay. These are gonna get some unique cuts in them, a couple bends, and then it's gonna get a plate welded to this. So let me go ahead and do the rest of the prep work, and then I'll kind of show you guys what we got going on. I'm gonna go ahead and try and show you guys with this grinder, even though I'm gonna be using it one-handed, how well these abrasive pads work. Check this out. Two hands, it goes a lot faster, but as you guys can tell, just like hardly putting any pressure on it, here's the difference from this side to this side. Just night and day. Love that thing. I'm gonna keep cleaning these up, and then I'll get marked out the cuts that we need to make on these. Then we'll go ahead and weld these to these, and then I gotta figure out some sort of plate to actually mount to the block itself. All right, so there's a really good chance right now that this is not the angle that I want, but basically you guys can see that we have a notch cut out of it, and I did not cut that side. That's because we're gonna bend this up right now. And if I like the angle, then we'll go ahead and keep, and if I like the angle, then we'll go ahead and keep the piece. And also, some of you may have been wondering what this piece of metal was on here for. That's what it is. It's just a really good hold point that I can slide 2-inch square tubing into and bend it whatever way I need to. I'm gonna go ahead and actually put it in like this so I can pull on it towards me. Let's see if we can get the angle that we want. Okay, does need to twist down a little bit. Let me grab some pliers. So in my opinion, this is the easiest way to do it. You're not gonna have to weld anything on that backside. It's gonna be nice and smooth. Basically, you just have to fill, and fill, and you're gonna have a super nice piece of metal. So now the next thing is, do we like the angle? To be honest, I wish I had done it a little bit steeper, but I don't think it's gonna matter enough to like make too much of a difference. But I think this is gonna be okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one the exact same way. That way we're not throwing away a good 2-foot long piece of 2-inch square tubing. So we're gonna go ahead and set this off to the side for now. We'll do the same thing with this guy. All right, well, there you have it. We have 2 beautifully bent pieces of metal, which I will have to weld when I get back because I got to run into town. So I'll see you guys in just a little bit. All right, we just got back from running around. I'm actually gonna be moving an excavator tomorrow, and I had to go look at the street where we're gonna be sticking the lowboy because it's pretty tight, so I didn't want to show up and be like, we can't make it happen. So regardless, just got back from doing that. We are gonna go ahead and get these things welded up pretty quick. We got some other stuff we gotta do. She's looking for a hammock. Apparently it's in our camping stuff somewhere. So we're gonna try and get these engine mounts knocked out real quick so I can take care of what's important. So I'm not gonna dilly-dally too much. There's not a whole lot left to do. We just have to weld up those seams right there, figure out exactly where we want it on here, cut a little piece off of that for the mounting plate, and then I am gonna put some bracing on it. We're gonna use these. So really there's not a whole lot to do to actually build these things, but I'm just gonna set it up on a time lapse because time's a little bit of the essence. Got some other stuff that I gotta do. The end dump is still hooked up to the Peterbilt. I gotta take care of that, and so not a whole lot of time today. So without any further ado, I'm gonna get to work.
Working a job that I can't stand for less than I'm worth, but all that I can command. Boss looking for a volunteer to stay on late tonight. I can't wait to leave, but I need the overtime.
All right, so before we go any farther, I'm gonna show you guys why I prefer to cut them like that. Really not a whole lot of prep work went into this, and I know they're not the prettiest welds, but look how nicely these angles match up. They're like spot on with each other, completely identical, and they just turned out great. So the last thing I need to do now is put the angle on this piece right here. And so the last thing that I need to figure out, which really is not gonna be that hard, it's just gonna be a 60-degree cut because we did 2 30-degree notches to get that. So we need to put 60 degrees right here, and that'll give us exactly the angle we want to go ahead and mount our tabs right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera back up on a time lapse and get going.
I take every shift I can, 'cause I'm in deep. Been falling behind since the Chevrolet went dead. I built a back of myself, but parts ain't cheap. I just can't seem to get ahead. They say if you work hard, well, there's some ladder you climb, but I'm not convinced there's any.
All right, so we've just got one very minor difference between these two, and that's that this leg is just a skosh longer. So I will shorten that up just so we get these things completely identical, but you guys can see we're looking good there. Looking good there on that angle. The only difference is this guy right here. So super minor. We're not gonna worry about that for now. I'm gonna go ahead and figure out exactly where we want to weld those uprights onto these pieces right here. So to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and get this super, super clean. We want nice, clean, shiny metal. All right, well, these things are about to take shape with the exception of the mounting plates, which I have not welded yet. Haven't even cut them yet. This one took me a while to find. I had to go way back into the boneyard to find that piece. As you guys can tell, it was kind of sitting in the dirt. So we're gonna need to clean that up a little bit. But we got a nice straight edge right here. We'll probably be cutting like 5, maybe 6-inch plates out of this. So I'm gonna have to bring the plasma cut over here because I do not feel like using a death wheel for that. So let me go ahead and get this all welded together, and then we'll get that taken care of.
A ladder to find, burying my dreams, drowning in debt. I just can't seem to get ahead. I don't desire any fancy thing, riches and wealth and the bitterness they breed. But it'd be nice to take my baby out to dinner now and then, or buy her some roses just for no reason.
All right, guys, well, we got one all welded up. It's looking pretty good. It's not like the prettiest piece of metal in the world, but I definitely think it's gonna be sturdy enough, it's gonna be rigid enough to hold up that Cummins, no sweat. So we just gotta rinse and repeat on that stack of metal over there. And then I gotta drag the plasma cutter over and we'll go ahead and get this thing chopped up. But I'm gonna go ahead and weld that one up. I'm not gonna film it because you guys have already seen this one. So when we come back, we'll start cutting up that other plate. All right, well, I ended up having to take a couple phone calls and I don't know that we're gonna finish this today, but we will get the 2 plates cut and then I'll have to drill the holes in them tomorrow. So you guys can see we got the plasma cutter set up. Roughly cleaned up. I think it's gonna be enough to go ahead and blast a line through it. This stuff is pretty thick. I think it's 1/2-inch plate. We're gonna do 5-inch sections and I think that'll work out just great. So let me go ahead and get these marked out. Try and set this camera up somewhere so you guys can kind of see what we got going on. Is that gonna work? Yeah, I think so. Okay, marker. There's 5 inches. Okay. I did drag the 220 line over here just because we're gonna juice this thing up a little bit since we're going through thicker plate. You guys should wear safety glasses, but I don't have any right now, so we're just gonna go for it. Don't be like me. Okay.
When I get home from work, she'll be sleeping bed, 10 years older than the day we were away. Things didn't turn
Going
out
through, but we're
how
gonna
I
give this thing to me.
promised they would be.
Alright.
Oh, I just can't seem to get ahead. They say if you work hard, well, there's some ladder you climb, but I'm not convinced there's any ladder to climb. Burying my dreams, drowning in bed, I just can't seem to get ahead. I just can't seem to get ahead.
All right, well, time is a little bit of the essence. I just ran down and had some dinner real quick, but you guys can see the sun's starting to go down and we still got some grinding to do. These were sitting in the dirt for probably the better part of 6 or 7 years, and we got a little bit of mill scale right here that's got to go away. The flapper wheels were just not doing the trick, so we changed it up to the old school abrasive style. I'm not a big fan of using those because they don't leave a nice finish, but like I said, we don't got a whole lot of time, and this is going to be like our fastest option for getting nice clean metal so we can get a good weld up here. So let me go ahead and get these things ground down real quick, and then we'll get back at it. Oh, come on, let's go. Good enough. All right, so you guys can see how we got the center point right there. I'm gonna try and get it as close as I can. May not be 100% perfect, but I think it'll be close enough to be okay. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and call it a day. I'll be back up here tomorrow to go ahead and wrap these things up, and then we'll actually set an engine on these things to make sure they actually work. I would drill these tonight, but all of my drill bits are just kind of garbage right now. So I need to pick up a new set tomorrow because these are looking like they're gonna be 1/2 inch. I'll double check before I leave. But when I come back tomorrow, we'll go ahead and get all those holes drilled. We'll set an engine in there, and I'm super excited, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. So as usual, everything ended up taking a little bit longer today, and I only got about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours tops to go ahead and knock these things out. I just have to drill 8 holes, so I think I'll be able to do it. But we have this piece basically sectioned off into quarters. We got the halfway mark right there, halfway mark right there, and then this is not gonna line up perfectly because we have like this different offset right here for the actual motor mount. But this bolt pattern is what we need centered onto here. So, but it doesn't need to be like super, super precise. I basically just need to be able to bolt this plate to the side of that engine. So if I got to ream one out for it to fit on there, it's not the end of the world. So we're gonna go ahead and remove this thing. We got our 4 marks right there. And then I have this right here, which is a pretty good drill bit. It's a freshie. And then I actually forgot to pick up another drill bit while I was out today. So we're gonna start it with this. Hopefully I'm able to like ream it out. I do have some step bits, but let me go ahead and get these things knocked out, and then I'll rinse and repeat on that one, and we'll get them bolted up.
$8 an hour is what I'm worth. Putting shingles on houses that I can't afford. That's 64 for an 8-hour day. A family of 4 can't live that way. So now
All right, I went ahead and decided to switch it up to the Wrist Breaker 9000 because this guy was getting a little bit on the toasty side. Almost gave up the ghost. We had a little bit of smoke coming out. So you guys can tell we're getting pretty close as far as the holes go. This one got a little bit off. Whatever, not perfect. So let me go ahead and finish up with that drill. And then I still have to transfer that layout over to that one. We're getting real close.
now I'm working nights, parking cars at the club. On a good night I make 15 bucks. I take it all home and I add it all up. Somehow an 80-hour week just ain't enough. Something about this math just don't add up. Something about this math just don't add up.
All right, well, today's the big day, and I'm actually kind of embarrassed to say this, but it's day 3 on the engine stand build. A little bit longer than I wanted it to take, but I just kept having random stuff pop up here and there, and this is not like priority number 1, but it is up there. So today all we have left to do is ream out these holes. I'm not gonna show you guys that because I've pretty much shown you everything on that one. This one is 100% done. So let me go ahead and get these things drilled, and then we'll get it attached to the side of the engine. And I think we'll just try and rotate it up. See how it goes? I don't really have anything to lift it with. I guess I could use the 299, but we'll try and do it by hand, and we'll try and be gentle with it. So let me go ahead and get this knocked out. And from the get-go, I should have used the Wrist Breaker 9000. This went like 20 times faster than it did with old Smokey over here. But regardless, we are all drilled. Actually, let me do a quick double check real fast. Make sure these line up. Yeah, that one might be a little bit off. I'm gonna go ahead and ream that one out a smidge. All right, well, here we go, moment of truth. Let's see if all this time we spent building these engine mounts is actually gonna be worth it. We got side number 1 right here. This is the one I just finished drilling out. Let's go ahead and see if it mates up to this thing. So we were super close to having 0 issues. We just have one minor problem. So as we come up on this side right here, you guys can see the plate hits that block right there where we have this oil fill port or whatever this is, a drain tube. So all we're gonna have to do is shave this just a little bit. I mean, we are so close. The hole's just right there, but it's gonna be just to the part where we can't get it through. So you guys, I swear, sometimes I think there's like an anti-gravitational field around my shop somewhere. I had all 4 bolts for these things. I was gonna use 2 on this side, 2 on that side, and one of them just like disappeared. I have no idea where it went. I know my shop's not the cleanest right now, but I have scoured that workbench. I've looked everywhere around here. I can't find where it is. So we're gonna go ahead and borrow one off of the other engine mount that's still installed on the other Cummins, and hopefully it pops up here pretty soon. Well, at least before the project's done. We can get by with missing 1 engine mount bolt for now, but it is something that we're gonna have to relocate. So we're gonna go ahead and snag one of these. So I don't know how a bolt this size just disappears. It is a good sized bolt. You would think that it would be kind of easy to find, but I have spent probably the last 10 minutes trying to find it, and this thing just Houdini'd up on out of here. So we are gonna be able to get it put together right now. Let's go ahead and put the very last bolt in. All right, guys, well, I'm super excited for this. Everything's looking pretty good. I may have messed up a little bit on the angles. They come in just a tiny bit, and I think where I messed up was on the welding plate. I should have kicked that up just a little bit more, but I don't even think it's gonna matter. Such a small, minute. So I don't think it's a big enough problem to actually worry about, but if I were to rebuild it, I definitely would probably address that. But for now, we're good. This is my very first one of these that I've ever made, so all in all, I think it turned out pretty good. But let's see if it actually works. Oh my gosh, guys. There it is. Mystery solved. Anyways, let's get this thing upright. Okay. Oh boy, that's it. Let's fall in. Oh, there's a tappet. Looks like all of them are probably going to come out. Okay. So as I was lifting this thing up, one of the tappets fell out. I realized the camshaft was not still in there. So when we go to upright the whole thing, all of the tappets are going to come out, which ideally we should have put the camshaft back in there, but I'm going to go ahead and upright it anyways. They'll all fall out. Then we'll go ahead and take all the other tappets out of the other one, and then we can basically piece together the best 12 tappets and put them all in this engine. So, I don't know, is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and try and get this thing upright. May fail, my legs may break, but let's see how this goes. Oh my gosh. Ooh, this thing is very heavy. This next part's gonna be like super hard. Well, there they all go. Let's make sure none of them are underneath those legs. Yeah. Oh, success! Woo-wee! There she is, guys. Beautiful. All right, guys, I'm pretty excited right now. This is an awesome tool to add to the collection. We have a 12-valve Cummins. I guess I should be a little bit more specific because there are some very big Cummins 12-valve engines that I do not think these would work on. But as far as the 6BT 12-valve goes, perfect. But anyways, I'm super excited that these things are actually done and that we have the engine up in the air. Looking at them now, I wish I'd have gone just a little bit taller, had the bottom of the engine maybe like right here. I guess technically I could add some wheels to the bottom of it, which would give me probably another 5 to 6 inches, which might get me where I want to be. But overall, super pleased with how it turned out. And if any of you guys work on Cummins engines, I highly suggest building a set of these things. or head on over to Stumpy's and pick up a set for 200 bucks. Me, I like building stuff, so that's why we opted with this. I think it's gonna be a lot better option than the engine stand that we have over there, because the 12 valve is a very long engine, and the engine stand that I had, the wheels stopped like right here, so it wanted to tip over. But with this, I mean, this thing is rock solid, not going anywhere. I love it. But we are done for the day, and I'm super excited to make the next video because we are going to be going in the other direction that we've been going in for the last, I don't know how long this truck's been here, 5-6 weeks. We've just been taking stuff apart, but now we actually get to start putting it back together. But I'm gonna go ahead and put the screws this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you could do me a huge solid like, subscribe, share this with your amigos, hit that notification button down below so you guys can continue to see progress on the sick Cummins 12 valve that we're about to build and the rest of this Fummins build that we got going on, and I will see you guys next time. Later.